Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No, don't. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Now, 2 Pigeons and Coach Prime bemoaning the fact you can stream DirecTV satellite-free.
These humans get the biggest college football games on DirecTV,
and we don't even get a satellite dish.
Enough squawking.
It's Coach Prime.
Bring it in. Sure, they can get all that college football without a dish, but you still got your passion, your drive, your resolve, your
incredible career as a football icon?
No, that's me.
Stream the biggest college football games. No satellite dish. Visit DirecTV.com.
This episode is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have the tickets in your wallet first before you drive 2 hours to the big game. Seriously, you had one job. Now the closest you'll get to the 50-yard line is parking lot D. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
Earning your degree online doesn't mean you have to go about it alone. At Capella University, we're here to support you when you're ready. From enrollment counselors who get to know you and your goals, to academic coaches who can help you form a plan to stay on track. We care about your success and are dedicated to helping you pursue your goals. Going back to school is a big step, but having support at every step of your academic journey can make a big difference. Imagine your future differently at capella.edu.
The win over Colorado, people said, oh, Colorado was terrible. Well, was Colorado terrible? Was Sporting amazing? Or some combination thereof? So I don't know that I go with the Colorado lineup as much as you're going to expect LA to have the ball. They're going to have the ball more.
Right.
So you want to be able to counter them. But you also want to be able to defend consistently back there. So I go with definitely the double pivot, maybe Memo and Voltaire, maybe Jake.
Anything to shake this monument, my football team's got me drinking.
Back at it again with another shade of blue. We are the KC Soccer Journal. My name is Cody Bradley. I'm here with Kerry Robinson and Thad Bell. It is a dreary Sunday afternoon. Sporting Kansas City has been eliminated. It feels like that. It looks like that outside. But it is a big week. Those of you listening right now are gearing up for the Open Cup. We've got some energy, got excitement. I've been trying to ramp up Thad here in the studio. Thad, how are you feeling about this?
I'm not going to say I'm ramped up. I'm tired, man.
I was going to say, you sound like you're sleeping right now.
I was recapping at like 3 a.m. this morning. So
you got it out late. Well done.
We were a little shorthanded on staff yesterday with people going every different direction. And I went to the game with nothing other than my recorder and my phone, so I was not writing it at the game.
Well, and did I read that wrong? You went to the game at like 10 p.m. or like 9 p.m. Like whenever it was about to restart. You weren't even there the whole time, right?
No, I couldn't go. I couldn't go on time because my daughter had a concert. Went to that. Family is way more important. Her concert got done. It was approaching halftime. So I started driving that way, and I found out it was on delay. So I kind of drove around a little bit, stayed in my car while it was raining, went up to the press box, found it depressing because there was like nobody there. Went down to the concourse, got some.
So even some media left for the rain delay, like I did the last time?
I don't know, man. I don't know who was there originally. There's little name tags everywhere, but it ended up being me and Sperry sitting in the press box. And there was nobody next to the right of me. There was nobody to the left of Sperry. I'm just sitting. I was sitting there, my head in my hand for much of that second half, just like waiting for something good to happen.
That's what most of the people in the stands all looked like that too. Were you there, Carrie?
I was not.
Good decision. I saw you drug your mom to the last game when they actually won something.
Yeah, my mom does not like Sporting because, quote, they're losers.
Well,
so we convinced her by buying her food, and usually the bucket of chicken is her go-to, of course, and a giant seltzer, and that's how we get her to go.
It was from the chicken stand in that one corner?
Yeah.
That's what I had. I had a chicken tender basket, and I have a feeling those chicken tenders or whatever you want to actually call them things had been sitting for a couple hours.
The rain delay.
The fries were good. The chicken, yeah, it was not worth the $14.
I love those big stadium cans, those seltzers. What do they sell those for in that stadium these days?
I don't know. It's like 15, I feel like.
Oh, is it? That bumped up a lot then. 13.
15,
I think
like that.
I think 13 there. Because they actually lowered, in credit to the team, while every price of every concession was going up for every stadium in the country every year, they lowered that a couple times. Like even if it was just a quarter, it went down at least a couple times. So, and yeah, I went to a concert at T-Mobile Center recently, and I was like, whoa, these are way more expensive here than what they're selling them at CMP.
Thank you, Sporting.
Yeah.
When I was at Arrowhead for the Copa and they didn't give any media food, I went to the concourse to look for food, and it was like sticker shock. Like,
yeah.
It's like $20 for a slice of pizza? What?
Oh, at Arrowhead, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the Current has done a pretty good job at least for drinks.
Yeah. They're not, my family's bought food there, and they said it's not, it's not cheap, but it's not super expensive.
Yeah.
And it's good.
All the drinks is like Boulevard. I mean, you don't get that at Sporting.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So we are going to preview the Open Cup.
We're not just doing food reviews today?
I could do that. I could do a whole show on stadium food.
I want to talk about press box food. So.
And press box. That's a series we could do on press box food. But yeah, we're going to talk about the Open Cup game, talk a little current as well, but let's start with the game last night. Officially eliminated, 2-0 loss to Minnesota United. And yeah, that crowd, especially after the rain delay, man, we're talking like a couple thousand people there after that rain delay.
Man, I need to look at my photo and just see if I can count them all.
Yeah, it's sad. Just the view of that and the dying moments of their season officially. There's like 5 loyal, diehard people there screaming and singing in the stands.
There was not a lot of witnesses to this murder.
No, there was not.
Credit to Minnesota United fans. They were
out there.
A couple dozen of them. I don't know how many. I'm not trying to make fun of their number. It was a good amount, and they were very loud. The stadium was not very loud. They were very loud. By comparison, they were one of the loudest supporter groups this year.
Oh, okay.
Take that, some other town I'm not going to mention.
No, that was good for them. They're in a playoff fight, though. This is one of their shortest trips.
Yeah.
Dozens isn't bad, but, maybe would have thought a few more.
I think if the situation was reversed, it would have been more. But,
yeah.
And again, I don't know how many were there before the weather delay. I only know who was there after. So.
We've definitely traveled to some other stadiums and had less than dozens.
Yeah.
So
I went to the Minnesota away game earlier this year, and there was less than a dozen.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for putting me in my place there. They did better than us.
I went to one where we had like 500. So, I mean, the enthusiasm is waning.
Where was that? Minnesota, Colorado?
Chicago was one. There was that one whole corner in Chicago, the old
I was going to
Bridgeview.
say, is this recently? That sounds like...
No, that was...
Our fan base hasn't gotten up to go face Chicago in like a long time because they're not that good.
That was about the time of the rebrand.
Oh, okay.
When there was a rivalry.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's never been much fire to that rivalry.
No, just Midwest at the time.
This is the only thing.
So Thad, something we've talked a lot about this season, all season long.
Your favorite player?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, see, I'm not going to bring it up. I don't bring that up. You guys bring it up. No, what we've talked about all season long going
it's
into
Willie
this
or Willity.
is that we didn't get the midfield maestro that we were looking for. They rolled with Eric Tommy, and then when the season started, they just kind of started rolling with Alan Polito in that spot, at the attacking midfielder spot. But so I want to read you some of these stats from last night. It was a dominant performance, 2.4 XG, 65% possession, 557 total passes, 87% passing accuracy. All of that sounds great, but it wasn't very meaningful. And that to me is obvious that we're missing that maestro, that person in the final third that gives the striker the pass they need, or they can finish it themselves, or they can give a winger the pass they need to actually get the ball into the back of the net.
I think the stats you just laid out actually do the exact opposite. 2.4 XG means that people are getting in the spot and having the shot to have a 2 point. Because if they don't take the shot, there's no XG.
Yeah, okay.
So,
but see, I put that one first and then listed off a bunch of other ones out. I almost didn't even put that in there
because you
I
didn't
knew
want
you
me
were,
to. Yeah,
yeah, because I knew you were going to do that. But still, the 2.4 XG, 0.7 of that, or whatever a PK goes in, 0.7 of that was one PK.
I think this was just your back round the back door trying to get me to talk about Willie. That's what you were doing right there.
No, this was because Polito was out there too, and there were moments, but the XG were compiled from half moments and half looks and things like that, and we're just not getting the looks that they actually need. There was a whole bunch of shots, but they're not meaningful shots. All 557 meaningless passes, Carrie. What's the next step? Are we not? Doesn't that mean we're missing the maestro, an attacking midfielder? I like Eric Tommy, but there's a magic in the final third that this team does not have.
Well, what would you say is the difference between what we saw on Wednesday versus what we saw yesterday? Because Wednesday we did have that. And as Alan Plato said, they played as a team for one of the first times this season versus individuals. Were we just too individualized yesterday?
I don't know.
Good question. It's a really good question because 2 goals for Eric, 2 goals for Alan. I think it was just the finishing. They finished. I don't remember how many shots. Oh, that was like 31 shots or something on the Colorado game.
Well, one of those guys was in the position of attacking midfielder in Eric Tommy, and he did finish. So that game we did have an attacking midfielder.
Well, Alan was in that spot first because Eric came on.
Yeah, you're right.
And so both of those guys finished. They both fed off of the striker.
Okay, well, instead of you just like going along here and like supporting your fellow pod mate and going along with the point I was trying to make, now you've led me to the point. Okay, Thad, are we all set at attacking midfielder? Are you happy with what we've got? We don't need to sign an attacking midfielder this year?
No. That's a different question.
Okay, but that was the point I'm at. We're missing a maestro.
We're also missing
100%.
We're missing a finisher too.
Correct.
So you can play balls to people all day long if they don't put it in the net, at least on the net for the rebound for somebody else to do, you're not going to be successful. And while most of your pod mates have defended Willie to at least a certain extent this year.
I'm not talking about Willie.
I know, but this
William.
is the case.
Sorry, I said Willie. William. His name is William.
Yes, his father named him William, not Willie. It's okay to use Willie as a second or third reference, not the first. But he didn't finish. He didn't finish his chances last night, but nobody did. So you're frowning. Cody is frowning at me. This is a audio medium. Visual doesn't work.
To be fair, that first goal by Minnesota was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was a nice rocket. I mean, there's not much that you can really do for something like that other than, defense steps up a little bit more.
A patented against the run of play. Like they weren't sure they had to be as tight on this single guy in that exact moment, and all of a sudden he just rips a shot and it's a goal.
Well, they were recovering from something else, and Rosero went out wide to cover him. Jake came back to the middle to cover Rosero's spot, and I think between the two of them, when the Minnesota player made that step, he was able to just put it right past him because they both weren't in their comfortable spot. So not saying that's an excuse, it's just that's what happened. That guy did exactly what like a good Johnny Russell would have done, when Johnny Russell was at his peak. He would take somebody out wide, make them be uncomfortable, and then put it around them. It was a good play. I saw, as soon as Rosero went out there, I was like, oh, shit. Because I saw it coming. And, because, again, I was in the press box. I got this completely different angle. It was interesting.
Yeah. The video game angle up there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I was going to ask about the second goal, but now I'm not even picturing it in my head.
The second goal, it felt like they were riding the offsides line.
Yeah.
They were on.
Oh, yeah, real
and then
sneaky
everyone
pass.
just kind of gave up and didn't even attempt to take a step back towards him.
Yeah, once that pass got through there, they were just like, shit.
Yeah. Robbie chased him, and I think he was afraid of, taking a penalty at that point. But honestly, he should have.
There's not much he could do besides take him down for a PK.
He should have tried to at least sweep in there and get the ball and not take the PK. But
yeah, actually, honestly, you're right, because it's desperate moments at that point. Like if you really are trying to keep the season alive, then yeah, screw it. Take a red card right there.
And I'm gonna credit my daughter with that analysis. She was looking at the highlights with me at breakfast, and she's like, he should have just took the chance.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, would you have?
That's what they would have done in Mexico. In the Mexican League, they would have done that. And it probably would have worked.
Yeah, well, it was a German in an American league, so it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But it is not his fault in any way, shape, or form. It's just it was already too late at that point.
Yeah.
Because there had been a penalty that had been missed.
Speaking of that penalty, Carrie, the last time this happened, we talked about there was a moment between Pulido and Agata. They showed them both. It looked amicable. Pulido takes that one. No one had any confidence in him, and then he missed it. So my question for you, Carrie, is who should have taken this PK?
Johnny Russell. I know he missed the last one, however.
Everyone's missed the last one.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. As Mike tweeted out yesterday, that the last PK that Sporting has scored in the run of play was Russell versus Houston almost a year ago.
Like November or something.
No, September 23rd.
Oh, my God.
2023.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. We are going to go.
364 days.
Yeah, they're going to go a full calendar year without making a penalty from run of play.
Right now, I'm thinking it's going to be like a calendar year and a half by the time it happens.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
God.
maybe in St. Louis. I don't know.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's sad. I mean, but again, who would have taken? I would have said when Willie stepped up there. Again, I'm sitting next to Sperry in the press box, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I'm. Not even me being a Willie hater there. I don't think anybody was like, oh, Willie's got this. He didn't even hit the target on the first one he took, right? It was like way over the bar.
He was getting closer? Is that what you're trying to say?
He at least touched it this time. No, it's got to be Pulido. I'm sorry, but he scored 2 goals the last game. We got a big final coming up. He's our guy. You got to get him going. Keep that streak going. 2 games in a row with a goal. I'm sorry, it had to be Pulido. Had to be.
It should have been anybody else but Willie. I mean, he's not been confident in front of goal. And I know sometimes getting a PK can build confidence, but they needed somebody that was more confident. And Pulido should be confident coming off the last game. Tommy confident coming off last game. Johnny, while he's not been perfect, has that, old Scottish experience. I mean, I would have rather had Volader take it.
Yeah, I mean, we see him fireballs into the back of the net in training on a regular basis. No, the first thing you said there, I was thinking you said Agata has not been competent in front of goal.
Confident.
But then you went off on a bunch of confidence. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think he's been either of those.
I'm not arguing that.
Yeah. So who would you have given it to? If you were on the field as captain, would you have taken it yourself, probably?
Yes.
Okay, that was a bad example to ask you that.
Let's give Jake Davis a chance, actually.
Okay. I like that. No, I think a difference in this one, that last one, they kind of smiled and Willie very happily gave Pulido the ball, it looked like.
The vibes were off immediately with those smiles alone.
This one looked a little different. There was discussion on who was going to take this. And I saw a lot of, people are looking for something to yell about. Anyone looks for a route to yell at Peter Vermees online. And one of those is like blaming Vermees that Willie took it and not Pulido, or that Willie versus anybody took it as Vermees' fault. And I don't know, what I saw, it looked to me like those two players were on the field deciding in that moment for themselves, right?
They were. It's rarely, I mean, managers will say, yes, this is the people I want taking it. But when it comes down to it, it's usually the players they're deciding at that moment, like you feel it? I feel it. Like, hey, Jake, I go. that kind of thing. Yeah. That confidence that Jordy Cantia had back in Philadelphia. That sort of thing. It could have been Johnny. I mean, Remy. I mean, Memo. That would have been a good choice.
Yeah, honestly.
I mean, what are they supposed to do? Run over to the bench and ask him?
Yeah.
Who do you want us to? Who do you want to take?
Peter's over there giving hand signals, rubbing the cap or whatever.
He does the salute. It's one person. He does a wave. It's another person.
If he touches his calf, it's Logan and Denbei. We know that sign right there.
Yeah, he wasn't there. He wasn't on.
2 claps and actually Tim Melia takes it.
Yeah.
And again, William Agata is a great person, and I love him. But I would have had anybody else in that 11 at that time take it.
Yeah,
anybody. Tim, defenders.
Yeah, that was rough. Are we complaining too much about it? Would it even have mattered? They scored a second goal. Would it have changed the game? Would the defense have been more locked down, Carrie, if they are carrying this? Well, it wouldn't have even have mattered. We would have had to have won, right? We still would have been eliminated.
I think if there was a draw, we would have not been eliminated, but it would have been
everything but.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, all Minnesota would have had to have done was get a point anywhere. So it.
Yeah, I think maybe they could have scratched out a draw had they got that PK in there, but
but it's the 90 minutes prior to that when they were playing well, they had chances, they moved the ball. And again, that was the good thing about being up in the press box. I was watching them move the ball and how well they were moving it. They were doing pretty good at it. They were getting it side to side. They were trying to get the Minnesota defenders pulled out of position so they could do an attack, and they would get that happening and then just not finish.
I would like to think that second goal wouldn't happen because they know the season's over for them, but they don't want to end it that way.
Yeah,
especially in front of that few people.
A little more locked in. Maybe that pass doesn't sneak through there.
Well, they were pushing because they were desperate to try to get the tying goal if nothing else. Right. They might have still been pushing if they were trying to get the winning goal, but it's just the difference.
It happened because they were stepping up, and maybe you don't be as aggressive as a back line and step up in that exact moment if you're equal.
If the game's equal, Minnesota may have not taken the risk of having the guy up in that position too. They might have been more set back. There's so many variables to it. You don't know how that would have had.
Well, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
It's done.
It's done now, and that was one thing. I saw some people, friend of the show, Zachary Cobb, was kind of complaining about this on Twitter too. Like I said, people are kind of looking for something to be mad about. Chiefs are doing good. You got to yell about something here as a sports fan. And even though everybody knew we weren't going to make the playoffs, most people who are the angriest were acting at the beginning of the season like they knew we weren't going to make the playoffs. So the surprise of this, I wasn't too surprised of it. If anything, there's a little bit of relief that we can stop worrying about it. We tried to give any optimism on the path to the playoffs a couple episodes ago, and it sucked it all out of me. We saw no path, so this was always coming.
Yeah. I mean, I expected them to be eliminated. I was holding out hope that something miraculous would happen and they would sneak into that spot to play in for the playoff thing, but I wasn't expecting it. This is like one of those relief things now. Like, okay, can we just enjoy the last couple of games? Like, hope for wins, hope for entertainment.
Yeah.
Hope that somebody does something that makes us go, oh, there's a tiny little bright spot, whatever.
Play spoiler.
Play spoiler.
Eliminate St. Louis.
Yeah, all they need is a draw against St. Louis next Saturday to eliminate them, I believe, if I saw the math correctly.
I think so.
All those things. But I saw like a quote the other day that had reminded me. The book Tuesdays with Maury?
Yes.
There was a quote from there that...
Good book. Carrie says, no, you didn't read that in school?
No.
What are they teaching kids in school these days?
Hell if I know.
I read that in like high school, I think. Might have been a psychology elective, though.
I read that because it was like a free book in some book club thing. But anyway, I was out of school by the time that book was written, so I'm old. But it was death ends a life, but not a relationship. Being eliminated from the playoffs doesn't end my fandom. I'm still going to root for them. I'm still going to go have fun. So that was my analogy there. Carrie's looking at me like I was wise for a change. She's nodding her head like, yeah, that was the best thing you've
might
ever
have to read
said.
this book if I put it in sporting context now.
No, you don't need to read the book because it's a movie with Hank Azaria and Jack Lemmon.
Yes.
That's perfect.
1999.
However, I
It's a good
hate
movie.
movies.
What? What?
Here's the thing: I can binge.
Who just says that sentence? Like, what? All movies? I'm having trouble processing that one.
Comedies, dramas,
I
new,
hate
old,
movies.
superheroes.
I can binge watch a show, but I cannot sit through a movie. I have to be doing something else during a movie.
Carrie-
I feel like the plot is just too long for me.
So this is the first time she's disappointed me since we brought her on the show. I can't believe this. This is horrible.
Fortunately, this is a soccer podcast, not a movie review or food review.
That's true. That's true. But at least I
She's
know I
still
can
worth
talk.
keeping around.
At least I know I can talk TV with you. So you watch a lot of TV. Did you watch the Emmys?
No.
Nope. Okay. She's she ain't about that life.
Only Murders in the Building. Do you watch that?
Yeah,
Nope.
Thad was trying to get me. That's one show ever that I can remember that Thad was excited to be like, Cody, I'm watching a show. You should watch this show. Because he knows I like TV and I always want to talk about it with people. But I never watched that one. I'm sorry.
Well, congrats on getting a season 5.
Yeah,
for that.
it's still going though. So your instincts were right. It must be a good show.
Oh, it is. It's and I've only seen one episode of this season because I try to watch it with the family, and finding that time is difficult.
Shogun won like everything at the Emmys. that was
I think
a
you had
good
it
show.
right, man.
That's worth a watch. I'm kind of a history nerd, but that's one era, part of the world that I didn't know much about. So that's a good story. Go watch that, Thad. You're a history guy.
Well, I've seen the original. I've read the book.
It's really confusing though with the languages. For Spanish, they just speak English, but then there are also English speakers. So then there's like weird times where it's like, are those Spanish people speaking Spanish, or are they like, do they know English and they're actually speaking English? Because there's Japanese, Spanish, and English in the show.
So this is like the standard American expectation. If you speak Spanish, you're speaking American. If you speak Japanese, I'm not going to understand it.
I think they just made the decision they didn't want to dub or put captions for two different languages in the show, or it would just be captions the whole time. So,
did they speak English with an accent?
Like a Spanish accent? No, not really. No.
Okay.
It's just English. It's good though. Everyone go watch that. I need someone to talk to about it. So
I think the off season we're just gonna like have to do movie reviews and.
Dude, I can't explain to you how much I would love to have a movie and TV podcast.
Okay, we have a little time after this pod.
All right. I don't know if you're about that life though. Just found out that Carrie doesn't like movies, so Carrie's not gonna help us on that one.
I don't see a lot of movies until they're old. Until they've been on streaming. But
Till you know they have some cultural cachet and that they're worth a watch. That's fair.
I don't necessarily watch because they have a cultural cachet. I mean, sometimes I watch movies that are just bad. Because it's, you can watch it.
Bad movies are great.
You can do your Wordle. You can do your Duolingo. Speaking of Duolingo.
I actually just thought, I was like, Dad, I need to do Wordle. Still haven't done Wordle yet.
Well, that's one of the bad things last night is I did not want to sit in the press box doing all the games and have being judged by the comms team above me. So I snuck in a Wordle on the way home. So I missed my daily on a bunch of different those games. But I was telling Cody earlier about on Duolingo, he and I were in a fringe challenge. We had to accomplish 30 lessons in a 4-day span. I did 9 of them this morning to get us up to me doing 25 and he did 5. So he was really slacking. But I was showing that to my daughter over breakfast this morning, and she said something along the lines that I had more heart than some soccer teams around here.
Yeah, if you guys haven't noticed, we didn't do any more of the bad translations, and that's because I'm just on a downward slope of Duolingo. I haven't been doing it properly. Thad just called me out on the air. I only do 1 a day. I do like the bad translations. That was a good segment. We need to do more of that. Because every game, Polito or Vermees or someone does get a question in Spanish. Actually, no, Vermees. What Vermees started doing is he will respond in Spanish, but he asks for them to ask it in English, and then he'll give them an answer in Spanish.
And it depends on how much media is there from different stations from Spanish language stations and stuff, and that everything has fallen off. The attendance, the media attendance. It's
dark days.
But there'll be brighter days ahead.
The rebuild is coming. The mythical rebuild is
The
coming.
rainbow is coming back.
Aha! Oh,
Ooh.
see, there you go. Good job. She brought it back. She's back in the game. Ended the segment for us.
Rainbows and sparkles.
We'll be right back. All right, KC Current, Thad. Massive win over the Washington Spirit.
Very good win. Very needed win.
I wish I would have been there. Carrie, were you there?
Yeah, I was. I'll be honest. I did not think you were gonna win.
Really?
Yeah, going into this. Okay, last time.
That's fair. The trajectory of both teams.
Yeah, I mean, last time we played Washington Spirit, I was on a plane coming back from Spain, and I looked at my phone, and it was like 4-0. I said, "What is happening?" So I didn't know how the game was gonna go. If anything, I thought it was gonna be a closer game, maybe like 1-0, or even just like a draw. But
absolute domination.
Yes, I was very surprised.
This was actually kind of the opposite of that game where the Current had a lot of possession but didn't accomplish much there, and it was hot and they just weren't in sync and all that type of stuff. They kind of admitted at one point that they had not trained in the heat so much, and that was like a midday game and it was hot and they just didn't do what they should have done. But they still had played well. They just got scored on. Like almost every chance that Washington had, they got scored on. This was kind of the opposite. Washington played really well for a good chunk of that, and the Current, they were outpossessed, but they put their chances away pretty well. And
60-40 on possession.
So it was a little bit of the opposite, but it showed what the Current can do. But they've also they're a very different team from then too. So
they are. So they're looking at second place. We have 5 games left. They're trying to get to second place on the table because that would ensure home field advantage all the way through the playoffs.
Since the final is in Kansas City.
Now the Washington Spirit are in second place. They're 2 points behind them even after this 6-point swing.
Right.
So 5 games left, Carrie. Have you looked at the schedules of who do the Washington Spirit have left? You said you weren't confident that the Current were going to win this game after this resounding win. They've got momentum. Are they going to sneak into that second place spot? Because it should be noted, Orlando is way ahead of people. It doesn't look like they're going to get caught.
No, I think we're looking at unbeaten season for Orlando. It's
Jeez.
exciting for them because they've been very bad for a very long time.
They have.
With no support. So it's exciting for them to see.
We'll pull a New York Giants and Patriots Super Bowl on them, where they'll have their perfect season, and then they'll get to the final at our place, and then we'll do some sort of a helmet catch and ruin their streak. I don't know what the soccer equivalent is of that helmet catch, but we're going to ruin their perfect season.
An own goal?
An own goal. Handball, like a handball own goal.
Yeah. Or one that just bounces off of Lowe's posterior into the goal or something.
Yeah, got to be something lucky, like a rocket from distance that takes like a horrible deflection off their own player.
But Washington has to play Angel City. They have to play Orlando, Racing Louisville, Chicago Red Stars, and North Carolina.
Okay.
So they're tough match for them being Orlando, obviously. Louisville could be tough. Chicago's not been very good. North Carolina could be tough.
So they do have one against Orlando. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think second is definitely possible.
Yeah.
It's definitely possible. I mean, because even if they're not playing Orlando, I'm not expecting them to win all those games. With one of their best players, Sarr, has been hurt, and then Trinity Rodman went out in this game. One of their players got a red card, but Trinity going out with apparent back spasms. I don't want to say I know, but it was apparent back spasms that she's had before.
That injury made me cringe. Like it's not necessarily a non-contact, but yeah, you could see there was she had structural damage very quickly from not, a contact injury. Yeah, that doesn't look good. Do we get an update on her? Is she going to be out for a while? Do we know?
Yeah, there's not been any update. I think one of the times she was out with that was for a few weeks, but I
Oh, so
I
it's
don't
something
know.
she's dealt
It's
with.
it's reoccurring.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Which that's why when their staff went out there, it was like immediately like we know what it is.
Yeah.
I still find it very awkward that they put her in a wheelchair and then that stadium has no ramp, so they have to carry people upstairs.
They have an elevator. I watched the elevator
Yeah.
work. But she did come back out afterwards, so
Oh, okay, good.
it wasn't
missed that.
immediately in and then stay in.
Also, I found it interesting is when she was being wheeled over. Vlaco, obviously Vlaco knows her from the national team, went over and consoled her. One of the other coaches went over and kind of consoled her. Their staff, their coaching completely ignored her while she was being wheeled off until I don't know when. So
Interesting.
they were perhaps more focused on the game, and I wasn't watching them the entire time. So I'm sure they went and did stuff, but like the immediate as she was wheeled over, Vlaco and another member of the current staff went and.
I'm excited for this. I do hope they get that second place. I hope they get all these playoff games at home, which I guess I don't even know how many. How many teams make the playoffs? Are we talking 3 and then the final?
Is it 8 this year?
Damn it.
They just expanded it. So how it was in the past was the top 2 teams would get immediate bye to the semifinal, which is pretty unfair advantage for NWSL. And so they've expanded it to 2 more so that no one gets a bye.
Yes, it's 8. Yes. You are correct.
And no buys at all. It's just seeding.
Mm-hmm. So
so then we're only talking. It's only 3 games then, right? It's 2 games and then the final.
yes.
Okay.
So the current have Gotham, Racing Louisville, Bay FC, San Diego, Gotham again, but that's for the Summer Cup in October.
3D printed cup.
Yes, and Chicago.
Okay.
The Women's Cup was the 3D printed one.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. This was okay. Yeah.
They had
you're right.
they had pictures with it on the field.
This
of
is
the game.
This is the Summer Cup.
Yeah.
That's being played in the fall.
Which I think they don't realize they left that cup there. I think it's supposed to travel. So
Okay. I'm feeling good. I'm excited about the prospect of like Kansas City without Sporting Kansas City to worry about. The whole city just diving into this is our home. Look, we're on the national stage, playoff run. Very excited for this. That'd be fun. I could get all my friends to go if tickets are available. That's going to be hard though, isn't it?
probably. Although, I know it was a sellout this last game, but it was not full. So
No. But they also, I felt like it was more full at the second half than it was the first half. They had a lot of bus issues because they have to do a new route.
There was a lot of, because I was late because I sat on Front Street for like 30 plus minutes just
The train? Did you
No, driving.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you got stuck behind a train on Front Street because we passed it and it was like immediately after we passed it, gates went down and it was just sitting there.
Yeah. It's not a convenient spot unless you live in those apartments like Tealman.
Another goal for Temwa. Extended her lead
On her
the Golden
birthday.
Boot on her B-Day. HBD, Temwa.
Yep. I love that she is more coming out of her, I don't want to say shell, but she's becoming more outgoing.
Yeah, a little more personality.
She ran over and did the celebration with Lowe, like blowing out the candles, I think was
I
what
think
it was
that's
supposed to
what
be.
that was, yeah.
And then she went over and did like a little dance with Jericho and, did the hip bump and
And the rest of the team was also doing it just like without a partner.
yeah.
It was funny if you watched the bench.
Yep. That was great because it's one of my shots is like Michelle over dancing because she had subbed off at that point and then they sung her happy birthday afterwards.
That goal she scored, that was such a great goal. The whole sequence to set that up. I know she kind of cleaned up a mess there at the end, but the whole sequence to build up to that was beautiful.
That's much more how I think you're going to see the current play. I mean, Vlaco has been asked about that, like how is this the way you want to play? And he's like, well, it depends on the game, depends on the opponent. But I think you're going to see a lot of letting the other team have that possession a little bit and then just punishing them for those mistakes. But getting Bia back out for 30 plus minutes.
Oh man,
not even close to what she was at the beginning of the year, but give her a couple more games to get back in the groove.
Mm-hmm. That on that play, it started with Lowe. She sent a ball up front, and I think it went first to Dabinia. But on that play, you just see it developing. It's Dabinia with the ball, Bia's right there, Tim was lurking somewhere. It's like, oh, we're gonna freaking score right here. Like, how do you stop that? Just watching this team sometimes, I'm like, genuinely, how are you supposed to stop this?
It was nice to see the mess go in our favor for once.
Right. Right.
That's and they've cleaned up like that the defensive mistakes so much with the addition of Alana Cook and Kayla Sharples and Almith Schult, who is pretty much a badass.
Yeah, she is. On the last 3 games in FOTMOB, I'm pretty sure she's been ranked up as the star player of the match.
Yeah.
Nice.
3 shutouts in a row. She got cleated in the neck and kept going.
Which was insane. I saw a lot of people saying that was not a foul.
No, that was a foul.
That was crazy take.
I would say it wasn't intentional. It wasn't
Right.
malicious.
Sure.
It was careless and reckless, which is what the red card is.
Right. You still, when the attacker is able to make a play on the ball, but like she still went in cleats up, which directly went into her neck. So, yeah, I'm sorry. That's a foul. That girl looks so confused by it. Like, how is this possible? I didn't even do anything.
She didn't even walk off the field either. Like, they started the game, and then someone told the ref that she was still on, and he had to like restart and be like,
really?
get off.
Jeez, I missed that part too.
Yeah.
It was a mess of refereeing at the end.
At least we could say it was at the end, unlike some games where it's throughout the entire thing. I don't know. I thought the ref was pretty decent that game, and I didn't see some of that stuff. So
I like your point about, I'm going to try to say it, Almuth Schult. Almuth? Got that? Almuth?
Schult.
Yeah, that's very good for the team to see her come in and solidify that spot, because admittedly that is one, I think the back line and the keeper is one spot that if I was looking for trouble in the playoffs, that's throughout the season, that's one spot that I was looking at. So it's really good to see her come in and perform well.
And everybody on the back line has been playing well. Haley Mace has been pretty much locking it down against some very tough opponents the last couple of weeks. I think one of the knocks that some of us had talked about was we didn't think she was a great outside back in a 4-back system, but she was great in a 5-back system because she'd have less responsibilities. But I think she has greatly improved that, and I would really not be surprised to see her getting another call up to the national team in the near future.
Final thoughts?
I'm excited to see more Kayla Sharples. I'll say that.
There you go.
I've really liked her.
Yeah.
So I think.
How about Nichelle?
Nichelle getting 18th goal scorer for the team.
Yeah.
We've scored.
I didn't even realize
we
that was
scored
her
44
first.
goals this season so far.
Yeah.
44. That's insane.
By 18 different players.
I think the question will be, will Tim Waugh have more goals than the rest of the team? I don't know which way I would put money on that one.
We'll be right back. All right. U.S. Open Cup. We're going to preview this game Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. versus LAFC at BMO Stadium.
You want to take the recap, Cody?
9:30 weeknight. Yeah, that's going to be a late one like you had last night.
You know how many recaps I've done that are wins?
Oh my God, are you still at none?
I think I had one.
One all year? Good God. Carrie, you want to start writing for us? We need some new juju in there.
Yeah, I'll write it immediately after the game on my phone in the stadium.
Right. Well, yeah, I forgot.
I'll
you were
take
going to that. I wonder how many people we got. Is there a crew of people? Did you hear like a number of tickets that the team gave?
I have
Anything
not.
Like that?
I've not even gotten my tickets from the team.
Oh, really?
They were supposed to come like 2 weeks ago, and then I just got an email on Friday or Thursday that said that they've been approved, but they will come out early this week.
Okay, you're gonna have to trust that, I guess.
Yes.
All right, so you're making the trip. How are you feeling about it right now?
I'm excited. I've had a lot of LAFC fans and Angel City fans reach out to me, telling me places to go and they'll get drinks and whatnot. So I'm excited.
That's good.
For the atmosphere. I loved my away days in Minnesota. I'm excited for an away days in LA.
Okay, how about the actual soccer on the field?
Oh no.
This last game wouldn't have inspired too much confidence, but Polito scored 2 goals recently. Like, come on, I feel like there's reason to believe people.
I think just watching LAFC's, I guess I didn't actually watch them. I just watched some recaps. I'm not afraid of them as much anymore.
Hell yes, Carrie. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, but who did they? I don't know what their lineup was. I mean, I know they arrested some guys in the game last night.
They lost 3-1 to FC Dallas, but no Giroud, no Boanga.
I feel like the Wednesday one was pretty. Their Wednesday lineup was pretty top notch.
And they lost?
Yeah.
Well, I think they rested several people who came in at the half or the 60th minute. So they had several good players not start. But I mean, you could say with the same with Sporting over the last couple of days. Last couple games, they've rotated players a lot.
Okay, they tied Austin on Wednesday.
Okay.
1-1.
So yeah, no Giroud or Boanga. I didn't actually look at the rest of the field, but I saw those 2 on the bench, so they at least were not full strength for FC Dallas.
Sporting KC is winless in 5. LAFC is winless in 5.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess not. Just kidding. Sporting just won, but
it just feels like we're winless.
Yes.
So wow. So LAFC has not won in 5 games.
They've had 2-0 loss to Houston, 0-0 loss to Houston, 4-2.
0-0 tie is what that would be.
Yes.
If you aren't winning, you're not a winner. You're a loser.
Yeah.
I'm going with Carrie there.
4-2 to LA Galaxy, and then 1-1 tie draw to Austin.
Non-win.
And then 3-1.
Okay.
Non-win, non-tie, just loss.
Well, that's a good. On that same note, LAFC have lost 4 straight finals, and we have a chance to give them the 5th. In 2023,
that would make us as good as Columbus Crew. Oh wait.
In 23, they had 3 finals and lost all 3 of them: the Campeones Cup, Champions Cup, and MLS Cup. And then earlier this year, they lost the Leagues Cup to Columbus. There's 4 straight final disappointments for LAFC, and I am feeling amazing about giving them a 5th in a row. It's going to happen.
I am glad you're confident. I'm happy for you.
If the streak wasn't here, I think I would be less confident. But seeing this and the chance to give them another one, there's something about it that tells me it's going to happen.
You know how many times I've written a preview of, this has happened 17 times in a row, and I write the recap. Then they lost.
So they're due, is what you're saying. That's the best argument against it, is that they're due to finally win a final.
There's not a due or a history. This is a specific single one-off game. Where is LAFC at this point? Unless it's the same players in all of those, it might be in their head that, we can never get over the hump. But they got over the hump the year before that, and they won the MLS Cup, and then they went on their not great streak. You could say Sporting never loses finals. I mean, they haven't lost a final since I'm not sure when, quite honestly.
We rarely lose finals or PKs. Because most of our finals go to PKs.
The mastery of Peter Vermees.
Something like that.
So I dislike the hope that I have for this game that's coming up. But also to go back to that previous statement, Sporting hasn't won an away game in the last 5 matches.
So they're due.
There, it works that way. Yeah. We're due on that one. I'm looking through here, and I haven't been able to stop scrolling yet. There we go. The last time Sporting Kansas City beat LAFC was August 4, 2021.
Oh my God.
So they're due.
So we're due. We got another one. We're due. Yeah, that is, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games that we have not beaten LAFC.
Were they close games?
Only a couple draws in there. 0-0 with them back in May. 2-1 loss. 1-1 draw. 2-0 loss. 3-1 loss. 4-0 loss. 4-1 win back in 2021.
I heard a draw. That takes us to PKs.
There were a couple draws. That's all we need. Although they have...
It sounds like the trend is getting better, actually. I mean, it was like 4-1, 4-0 in 2022. And
yeah.
It's gotten closer and closer and closer. And
to a draw earlier this year.
And, yeah.
So if we're trending upwards. This
We're
means
due,
it's
baby.
a win.
We're due. That's going to be our rallying cry all week. We're due.
This episode has been brought to you by Rationalization.
Coping more than rationalization.
I think that's also going to be LAFC's rally cry.
We're due.
We're due.
I know, both teams. It's a rallying cry for both teams somehow.
And one of us will be right.
Isn't it crazy that we have to go through Kai Kamara to get Kansas City a trophy?
You had
And
to
Ilya.
remind me.
And Ilya.
And Ilya, who's
But
won
Kai
a trophy without us.
Yeah, but Kai Kamara at age 41?
He's on the other side of 40.
42? Yeah, something like that.
Love Kai. He's a great guy. Love Ilya. Wonderful man. Hope you guys have tears.
Was that was like a tribute to him?
They're
It
not
started
dead.
out loving, but then
It's a
ended-
good luck, but not against us.
Okay.
It was. I appreciate them. I don't wish them any ill will. They're great people. I like both of them.
Kai is 40 years old.
Trust me. Anything with a 4 in front of it's on the wrong side of 40.
Yeah. Yeah. Carrie,
As my knee hurts.
let's talk about the lineup. What is our preferred lineup? Peter Vermees has changed the lineup every single game this year. We have not played 2 games in a row with a consistent lineup.
I think we got to go for what worked the best most recently, and that is the lineup that we had against Colorado Rapids.
Same lineup, same formation.
Yes.
Weren't we
'cause
missing somebody that game? I thought
Jake
somebody
Davis?
was out. Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Colorado is above LA in points on the table.
Yeah, after that loss.
Really?
After
Wow.
their
Yes.
loss last night, Colorado jumped ahead.
Colorado's in 3, LA is in 4, 1 point apart at 50 and 49.
LA still has some games in hand, though, don't they?
1.
Okay.
1.
They're on the good side of 40.
Okay, so what was that lineup? That was one of those with Agata up top and Polito at a quote-unquote
The
10.
10, yeah. Afrifa, Wrestle on the wings, Rodriguez, Memo, and Basong, and then backline Shelton, Castellanos, Frontes, Nadembe, and Polskamp.
No, you gotta have Rosero out there. You gotta have Tim out there, and then at winger, are you going? So you would like to put out Afrifa over Shallowy on the left?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Thad, what about you?
It's a really good question.
It is a great question. Afrifa looked lively, hungry in his chances.
How did he look last night? The first half. I only saw some highlights from the first half. I was there for the
Yeah.
second. So I had been told he didn't look all that good in the first half.
Yeah.
So he's still at that point where, I don't know if you count on him to start or not, but a lot of people, like the win over Colorado, people said, oh, Colorado was terrible. Well, was Colorado terrible? Was Sporting amazing, or some combination thereof? So I don't know that I go with the Colorado lineup as much as you're going to expect LA to have the ball. They're going to have the ball more.
Right.
So you want to be able to counter them. But you also want to be able to defend consistently back there. So I go with definitely the double pivot, maybe Memo and Voltaire, maybe Jake is one of those two.
And you are going Agata and Polito?
I was working my way that direction.
Well, yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I was thinking of it because you said the possession thing. We're going to have to be counterattacking, maybe a ball over the top.
Yeah.
Polito can run, so you got to have Willie up there. You got to have someone up there that's a threat. So maybe that is why you would put Afrifa or Vargas or somebody.
Honestly, I might, if it was me, I might go with Vargas at that center point as the center forward.
Oh, geez.
And lump balls and for the first half.
Yeah.
And just have him run at people and hey, dude, run.
Like the KC current strategy where on every corner kick, Temwa just takes off and the keeper just boots it down the field. It's like high school. I don't care, man. If you got a guy that has that speed, use it.
Just sit them down and only play Temwa highlights in front of them until they understand.
This is what you do.
Yeah. Timwa is not just fast. She's powerful and she makes really smart runs.
Yes. I love Temwa defense.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sorry I interrupted you there. You're on defense. I believe you said you wanted Rosero in there.
I'd probably go with Rosero, even though he doesn't always leave me that confident anymore.
Well, none of our center backs do, and I think he leaves me the most confident, or the least unconfident.
I go Logan on the left as long as he's healthy enough. Kyrie on the right as right back.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you there. Amazingly,
Rosero, perhaps Volader and Rosero. Castellanos hasn't been bad. He actually does pretty good at winning headers.
Yeah, I almost think Castellanos and Rosero are my center back pairing.
Because just the winning the headers to get them away from danger. Because Kai is really good with headers.
Yeah.
And I think that Olivier Giroud dude.
Yeah, we need big bodies in there to get headers and break up headers.
Olivier Giroud has really nice hair.
And a meaty French forehead. One of the most amazing calls I have ever heard on a television broadcast. His name is escaping me, but the guy that does the calls for NBC, Giroud had like an amazing game-winning header, and he said, "Off the meaty French forehead of Olivier Giroud."
I actually just started liking him a lot because he was with a team that I was kind of following at the time, but I was listening to an interview with him during the pandemic. I was like out walking at night just listening to soccer interviews and shit, and it was a really good interview. He was really very interesting person.
I like him. I do.
I think Apple Broadcasting should really work up their
more content.
Yeah, exactly.
Please.
Exactly. Why are they so bland? He did a header. It scored.
They promised
we need
us.
More. We need more.
They promised us MLS Season Pass would be filled with like weekly content videos that were coming out. It's lame.
I want unhinged
Yes.
commentary.
Yes.
There should be 2 different broadcast teams for every game. One, the more standard generic American broadcast, and one for the, oh my God, that was a meaty forehead.
Or like the Manning cast, a version of the Manning cast. Who is a goofy MLS character, like a Jimmy Conrad and somebody else. That'd be a decent broadcast to watch, where they just parade a bunch of guests, notable people, active players and coaches from around the league to watch this game with you.
Imagine if Benny wasn't coaching. We could have had the Benny Philhaber show with
my
Sal Zizzo
God.
on the side.
Yeah.
That's the other broadcast that they should do right there.
If Benny fails as a coach, then he needs to do that as broadcasting.
Thad, when I said the Manning cast, your face went entirely blank. Does that mean nothing to you? You don't know the Manning cast?
Means nothing to me.
Okay, well, in the NFL, they started doing on Monday Night Football, there is the normal broadcast. It's the same way that you were at. It's exactly what you were asking for, just for football. Okay. There's the normal broadcast, and then they have the Manning brothers, both Mannings, that just like sit and watch the game, and they're just...
The guy that does those insurance commercials?
Yes, like a good neighbor. No, I forget what he does. I forget which one he is.
I don't know, but he's conceited
not very good branding anymore, I guess. But yeah, they have on, it's the two of them, they're brothers, it's funny, and they have on like active players and Bill Belichick and comedians, and it's a great, I prefer that Monday night broadcast over the normal one.
I will have to try to watch it now.
But that would mean you would have to watch football, so.
I watch some. Usually when the wife wants to watch the Chiefs. I watch the Chiefs at times.
Okay,
for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there you go. For the glory of the city, you got to watch that.
Well, I watch them when they're in the playoffs for sure, and then I watch probably maybe half the other ones at times.
Football's a stupid sport, but I watch it because of fantasy football. I don't actually care about the games. I like the Chiefs. I'll watch the Chiefs. It's a dumb sport, but what I really care about is this stupid competition with my dumb friends.
It's amazing to me. I see people like, oh, soccer rules are dumb, or you never know, like, if that's going to be a handball or something. You ever watch an NFL game? You never know if that's going to be a catch or not.
We have to figure out if they're bobbling the ball as their toe is grazing the grass.
Yeah, the point you make, I scream that at people all the time, where it's like they literally don't even know what a catch is in this sport. Like, what are we doing?
Was it a pass? Was it a catch? Was it defensive interference? Offensive interference? Was it a hold? Was it a defensive hold? Was it an offensive hold?
Neutral zone infractions, 10-second runoffs. Like, what is this? It's not a sport. It's not a sport.
Intentional grounding is okay if you're here but not there. I mean, it's, is it a foul in the box or not in the box?
That's a good one, actually. The intentional grounding. You can intentional ground if you take one step this way, then you can just do whatever you want with it. But if you're in this spot right here, then it's like a 15-yard penalty.
And honestly, I'm not trying to criticize anybody that loves the sport. It's just that don't complain about soccer rules if you love pointy ball.
Although, yeah, I don't think anyone listening here, the people I'm talking to, like who I think you're talking to, aren't also listening to a
Probably
soccer
not.
podcast. So
Probably not.
all of you listening, you're cool.
Which, by the way, anybody who listens, appreciate you. We love you. Person I talked to at the stadium yesterday, I really appreciate the comments.
Love getting a shout out. Thad met a fan. It was good.
Well, I've talked to him before, and he's listened to the pod and just like, hey, really like listening. And I told him we'd be recording today, so he said he would be listening to it in the car in the morning.
And he's a notable voice too, the voice of the stadium. Can listen to us. That's fun.
Yes.
I like that. Love compliments. Keeps us going. Okay, any final thoughts in this game? We did a little bit of tactics and strategy. Thad gave us what he thinks we're gonna have to do. LA is going to control the game, looking for some counterattacks.
That's what I would do.
Yeah,
So
trying to think what else.
So if it gets to PKs, who are you guys putting in to take shots?
Oh, jeez. Okay, let's see here. Oh, my God. Now this is really scary. I haven't even thought about this. We're always so good at PKs that it's like, it seems like we don't
we
need
only
to.
got to make like two
But
because
now
Tim
we're
will
really
stop
bad at it.
three.
That's true.
Valid point.
Yeah.
Valid point.
I am on the fence with Tim right now. Like, yes, I need him for PKs, but those saves recently, or the lack of saves, scaring me.
Okay, I'm coming out of the gate. Number 1, Johnny Russell. Get us on the board. Knows what he's doing. Johnny gets us on the board. And then you come up with another solid. I got another solid one. Actually, I'm going to go with Polito at number 2. I'm getting some nods around the studio on that. Am I not ruining this?
Those would be my first 2 picks.
I don't think you could probably go differently because even though they have not been solid this year with scoring and scoring PKs even over the last year plus, it's the guys you have to go with. But I'm not going with Willie.
Now, I don't know who all's on the field at this point for this game.
And we don't.
But next, I'm thinking Eric Tommy.
Memo, if he's on the field.
Memo next.
I just have I have a feeling like that guy's just going to solidly do it, man. Like he's giving he's not
really
being
experienced.
superstar, but he's not been the superstar out there, but he's been very solid in everything he's done. He's created some good opportunities. He created the PK yesterday. He is he's one of my top 3 actually if he's on the field right at the moment. I don't know why.
So then, I don't know, maybe you sneak Daniel Shallowy in here in the middle, not give him number 5, like he's like a 4. I'm trying to say, I think I'm saving Remy for my 5th. Is that? I think I've run out of all of my people that I'm sure are going to score. Oh, no, really?
Yeah,
center back is your 5th taker for a cup final?
Honestly, Castellanos and Volader, I would have both of them.
Well, Volader, that would make more sense.
Should we get Tim in the lineup somewhere?
Carrie really wants Tim to take a
Alyssa
peek.
Nair action,
Yes.
Tim Melia style.
I'd go for that. I think he would decline until like the 11th spot unless he.
Oh, for sure.
But I would think it would be kind of cool.
Okay, so my 5 is Johnny, Polito, Tommy, Memo, Remy.
I think if Afrifa is on the field at that point, I'd throw him in for Memo. I feel like Memo would not be on the field, but
Yeah.
I think he's got confidence. He's been called up by Canada, right? I didn't mix up that player, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No, he's been called up and he's showed a lot of confidence. Again, he's young, so there's the 2 ways to go with PKs. It's the young, brash, I'm overconfident and I can do anything. But once you miss, now I'm more worried about you being the old, experienced guy who I'm just going to put in a corner.
I mean, if Stephen Afrifa steps up, he's on the field, he steps up and gives a Jake I go or a Memo I go, then like I'm down for that. Let the guy take it.
Please, Afrifa. We need another meme for the season.
But I mean, come on, Willie did it. Alan I go, and that worked out well.
That's true. That wasn't for sure. That was a discussion though.
Or Johnny Igo after this last PK.
Maybe we should just review. If there are new fans that don't know that Jake I Go, this was in the PKs in Philadelphia for the 2015 Open Cup final, which obviously there is a set order that had been established. Jake Peterson was going to take, I think it was the 5th, either the 5th or the 4th, and it was the one that was going to win it.
Yeah.
And so Jake the whole time, 5th spot, he's getting mentally ready. He knows it's coming to him. He's about to walk up there to take it. And then this kid, this new guy, Jordy Quintilla, just says, no, Jake, I go.
Yeah.
And he steps up, hits the PK, and we win the trophy.
3 words. Jake, I go.
So that's way more audacious than just on the field. No, I think I should take this instead of you. That's way more audacious than that one. So I would love to see this. Another moment. Stephen Afrifa steps up.
Afrifa, Vargas, I don't care, man. Just let's get if it gets to penalties, let's score some penalties, man.
Are we killing ourselves by talking this seriously about penalties? We go to penalties that often in finals? I think we do, that it's just we already are planning for it, thinking of it.
Yes, but if we're continuing with the trend, then we're at least getting a draw. And
Right.
then penalties.
I think Peter can scratch out a draw when he needs to and get us to PKs.
As he has pointed out sometimes, he's not the guy passing the ball.
Right.
He's not the guy taking the shots. He's not the guy making the defense. Although, man,
He has a knack for setting his team up and putting them in a
Yes.
position to scratch out a draw.
He does.
I feel good. I really do. I can't tell. I've been trying to decide if Thad is confident in this or not. Carrie says she feels good. She's going halfway across the country to go see it, so she's got to feel good. I don't know if it's real or genuine or what, but
I don't know if it's deep down. I don't. My heart is telling me one
Not
thing.
sure.
My brain is telling me another.
She has hopium.
Seriously, I think we're going to do it, man. I love this. It's a cup final. We're playing in a cup final in like the worst season in club history almost.
Not been good, but at least it's not a wooden spoon.
We've got something to cheer for. We've got a few days of hope and fun and excitement and dreaming about Pulido, figuring out, remembering how good he is. And if he does that, seriously, there's a chance.
Yeah, again, on the positive side, as Wikipedia Kuhn has pointed out, Sporting is the only MLS original that's not won a wooden spoon. So it's not the worst season.
Wow, what a stat. I missed that.
So every other MLS original. That doesn't count some of you newbies who only have had a team for a year or so. But
All the true 96ers, we're the only team to never get a wooden spoon.
yeah,
Beautiful. Love it.
and we were guaranteed of that this year. So
Yeah.
it's not the worst that we could have done.
Hell yeah.
It's definitely not the best season, but
There you go. That's as much hope and excitement as Thad can offer, is that we're not the worst team ever.
yay.
Hey, we may be out of playoffs, but remember, we're in the Champions League.
In the Champions League, we have a cup final, and we've got the derby against St. Louis. Come on! Wednesday night, 9:30. Get ready, people. Stay up late. Do I have to write the recap? Did we decide?
It's funny because I was looking at you like, are you going to write that recap? Just, I was
could
thinking
see
that.
it in your
You're
eyes.
like,
I
yeah.
know. I saw that I avoided that question earlier.
We will ask if anybody on the site wants to
Somebody will probably want to do it, but I could do that one.
I think Greenwald would want to do it.
As I said, for big games like this, across all sports, KU basketball, a Chiefs Super Bowl, I don't like to be at a bar. I'm not a bar watch party person. I need to be hunkered down, secluded. I don't want to hear the drunk idiot saying stupid things at this bar that I'm going to have to want to respond to. I don't want any of that. I need to be hunkered down. I don't want anyone to see me acting the way I act in these tense moments like that.
I feel that.
I'm gonna have doors shut. Me and my dog in my room watching this game.
It's funny when my wife's watching a big game like that. She'll like, if something goes bad, she'll get up and walk into the other room and just pace over there listening.
Yeah.
I can hear
Oh, that's what my dad does. My dad has no patience. If anything goes wrong, instantly he gets up and leaves because he thinks it's his fault, and if he leaves, then they'll do better.
I'm like, honey, the Chiefs went down 7-0 in the first quarter. I mean, they kind of have a history here, you know. But
okay. Feel good. Thanks for joining us.
Sporting. The other side don't seem so tough, and 3 own goals ain't all that rough. rubber has just been sent off. Supporters strong have all gone soft. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer or whiskey, wine or gin, anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking.